members here at Euston have just walked out on strike. Members all across London are walking out on strike in protest at the mass sackings that are taking place in the London Fire Brigade.
We're out here peacefully protesting. We're giving leaflets out to everybody, everyone who's talking to us and supporting us.
Nobody wants to strike, certainly not the Fire Brigade Union. We've tried our hardest to get a negotiated settlement with management. We're not scared to change our shift start-finish times. And the public have to be aware that this is not a dispute about shifts. This is a dispute about the threat to sack 5,500 uniformed members of staff and 41 non-uniformed members of staff if the employers don't get their way. And unfortunately, we can't let the employers get their way, because if they get their way, then that will mean that firefighter safety and the public safety will be compromised, because we know that there will be cuts to fire cover coming if we go to start and finish times that the employers imposing on us.
Because once they do that, we might as well forget the union, really.
They're trying to force a sacking on us and trying to change our contracts without any consultation or even showing us contracts or telling us what's going on. So
it's worse in the emergency fire service, because for any emergency service to do that, these men and women put their lives on the line every day for the members of the public, and they know what the shift change and post-shift change will bring for them. They know the effects of sacking 5,500 uniformed members of staff and how that will affect London, and this is just not acceptable.
There's been a leaked document for potential closures of stations across London. I'm sure the members of the public wouldn't want this done, knowing that their local station was shut. We were out last night on a fire where a man was pulled out of the incident with bad burns to his arms and to his face. We're there, that's our job, that's what we want to be doing. We want to be back at work now. All we're asking is for the authority to take away the threat of sacking us for not signing what is not a good term on our contracts. Our union and our executive is here now. He's prepared to sit down and talk with you. They're prepared to get something out on the table. All we ask is to please take away the threat of our contracts being torn up, and if we don't sign them new contracts, we're unemployed. I think that's draconian, it's not right, it's unfair.
There's a simple solution to this dispute: stop the sackings of 5,600 firefighters, and there won't be any strike action in the London Fire Brigade. It can be resolved that easily. We can resolve the issue of shifts through negotiations, but what we're not prepared to take is imposition in the way that they're doing here in London.
obviously we've just come out to show our support. That's what we've done here today. Got people from all over the country, representatives from their unions as well. So.
Today, senior managers have said that there is a ASICO truck here, and as you can see, there's not, and it's being blocked by FBU members for going out on fire calls and stuff, but it's actually not happening.
We've been trying to get information about whether ASICO have turned up anywhere. It seems they haven't turned up anywhere as yet. That could mean various things. It could mean they're taking calls on the radio or whatever, but it might also mean they haven't got the confidence to bring them into fire stations.
They won't go on a fire station, so they've now put one into Edmonton Green bus station, and it's running out of there. They've got one out of a police station near Edmonton, Wembley police station.
I have to say, I think that's a victory. These are our workplaces, and the fact that they haven't got the confidence to come in and try and take them over, I think you've shown that we're determined, and we've seen them off from that, and that is a huge step forward, and you should be enormously proud of yourselves that the brigade and ASICO haven't had the nerve to come in and take over your fire station. I think that's brilliant. Well,
today we've been basically picketing our own station. We had a big turnout earlier on. We saw one of the ASICO machines go by, but they haven't actually visited the station. Apparently there's a lot of rumours about listening to the appliance radio on the fire engine. As you can see in the background, we're actually listening to ASICO perform, which is it's not really the greatest turnout by a so-called fire brigade.
Confirm over a postcode, please. I'm en route. I just need the postcode again, please. Arrived at the destination, and the resident has said she left the oven open, and she has the running water in the back running. The door to her apartment is locked. We are trying to force the door open. Do we have the permission? Over.
There have been some very funny moments actually, and messages coming on about, well, we're just stopping for a toilet break and stuff like that, because an emergency service, we always do that, you know. That is the sort of thing where the Cowboy Fire Brigade Coleman seems to have organised.
More important message is to the public, and the public have got to stand and listen to us, because these cuts that they're going to put on us by sacking us will give you a worse fire service in London. We will change our start-finish times by agreement, not by imposition, and we will negotiate a settlement to end this dispute. But if they want no further strikes, then they lift the threat to sack 5,500 uniformed members of staff and 41 non-operational members of staff, and then fire engines will roll out with professional firefighters on them instead of inadequately trained civilian staff on our appliances that we go out on a regular basis. So stop the madness, don't play with the public's lives, trust it to the professional firefighter and support the firefighters in our battle now to defend our jobs.
Well, comrades, brothers and sisters, what a magnificent turnout to send a message to the SIRTOC and to the TUC that trade unionists and working people across the country are prepared to start a fight back against the cuts agenda that we're facing. It's been mentioned our members in London are on strike today, and I just want to say a couple of words about that. Firefighters provide an emergency service, and they do not want to be on strike today or any other day. But you need to think about what's been done to them. We're quite happy to negotiate resolutions to what our employers put to us. But what our employer has done in London is give us 90-day notices that if we don't sign their deal, they will sack every single one of us. And that's a warning for the future for the whole trade union movement, because it's now happening in Birmingham City Council, exactly the same method in Sheffield City Council. It's a way that they're going to force these cuts and attacks on our working conditions through. And our members in London have said we're not prepared to be treated like that way, we're not prepared to be bullied, and we'll fight back every step of the way. And Brian Coleman, the leader of the Fire Authority in London, is Councillor Brian Coleman. And he was asked on the radio last week, are you sacking firefighters? And he said, well, yes, we are, and I'm quite relaxed about that. And he said in 1981, Ronald Reagan sacked all the air traffic controllers in America, and if you remember, they were led off in handcuffs. That's the sort of agenda we face from some of these clowns running our public services. And in response to our threat of strike action, they brought in a private company of strike breakers, ASICO, and they've got 27 fire engines stolen. Come on to the 26. 27 fire engines stolen from the people of London and driven by people who have been badly trained. Already they appear to have crashed 2 of them. So that's the quality of training that they've been given today. And they also said they were going to run those fire engines with strike breakers on them out of our fire stations, and they've not gone to a single London fire station today because we've kept them off there. So I'd appeal to everyone after the rally today, get down to your fire stations, and if you do happen to see a fire engine driving around the streets of London, it's being driven by a group of strike breakers, and let them know what you think of them. And the background to what is happening to us in London is what is going on in our public services as a result of the cuts agenda. Their agenda is to dismantle our welfare state. Every single gain that our parents and our grandparents fought for the right to decent health care and decent education, these people in government today intend to roll back every single gain and to complete the agenda that Thatcher started in 1979. And I have to say, if the Labour Party want to say 20% cuts are some sort of alternative, I say that is no alternative whatsoever to what the coalition are doing. We don't want any cuts in our public services. And if they're not prepared to fight, ordinary people at local level, through their communities, through their trade unions, need to build a movement on a scale that has not been seen for decades. And we need to organise strike action across our public services, supported by our communities, and we can, if we organise, stop them in their tracks. They will always tell us that there is no alternative, and we've been told that throughout history. and if we'd listened to him in the past, we would never have won the right to be in trade unions, or the right to vote, or the right to decent health care. So when they say there is no alternative, we, working people, trade unionists, will build our own alternative from here and now on. Solidarity, get organised and fight back.
The main thing is the union, stick together. And I just wish some of the senior officers would do the same thing. Stand up and be counted. We must only get the respect of the people here. We'll give them the utmost respect. I wish more ADOs and senior officers say, no, this is wrong. We need to stand up and be counted and stick together.